What can the Texans do for CJ Stroud? And CJ speaks for the final time before the offseason begins. Go inside the locker room. Plus, more news involving the Texans and how CJ could be playing for new coaches this upcoming season.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what
Dust is kind of settled. Texans season ends. Disappointing ending, but as a whole, the season was better than many had expected. It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on the Odyssey app and right here on YouTube and on Twitch. Subscribe, like, ride along for the best coverage in the country when it comes to the Houston Texans. And business is picking up. It's an offseason without a coaching search for the first time in a few years. It's an offseason with hope at the quarterback position for the first time in a while. And the question is this: what do the Texans need to do for CJ Stroud? The offense just completely laid an egg against the Baltimore Ravens. Second time this year they faced Baltimore and failed to score a touchdown. That only happened 4 times this year. One time Cleveland was using their 4th string quarterback, and the other time was Seattle. Obviously, not the ending you'd expected. You'd like to believe that better days are ahead when you have CJ Stroud. But what can the Texans do for CJ? I think it's simple. And they need to get more weapons for CJ Stroud. They need to get more running backs. They need to get more receivers. They need to look at tight end, and they need to hope that their investment in the offensive line pays off next year, because there's not really a lot you're going to do on the O-line. You've committed to Laramie Tunsil. You've committed to Titus Howard as a really, really good tackle. You've committed to Shaq Mason. You've invested in Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Jared Patterson, some of the other interior competition. There's actually reason to believe that the offensive line could be good, but I won't hold my breath, because regardless of the investment or whatever, we've been saying this going back to previous regimes. So from the offensive line standpoint, there's going to have to be more cohesiveness. It's going to have to get better, but you have to find a way to become a team that has multiple running backs that can make plays like what Baltimore had the other day, and really every team in the NFL has. And you've got to add weapons. Nico Collins, great season. Tank Dell, big hope for Tank Dell. We'll hear CJ Stroud talk about that. But the Texans need to add as many weapons as possible on offense. If the offense showed up the other day, could have been a different game. Who knows? But when you leave your defense out to dry like that, you completely erase a first half effort in which Baltimore had -7 yards on their final 3 drives. It's going to be impossible to win games. So on top of the natural progression, the Texans are going to have to address the offensive side of the ball and figure some stuff out there. We'll get into some news from around the league, including growing interest in CJ Stroud's perhaps 2 most important coaches. But let's hear from the man himself. Let's hear what CJ Stroud has to say. Let's react to it as well. Get in the comments here in the locker room as the offseason officially begins. CJ Stroud's exit interview. Let's sit down, crisscross applesauce, and listen to the quarterback of the Houston Texans.
Man, it's huge, man. I'm honestly, I'm excited to get back to work, but of course it takes time. You can't just rush into it. But I'm really excited to see how much this team's going to grow. And like D'Amico said, man, we got to find some way to get back to that moment and win that game, So a lot of experience was made this year and things like that. So I'm super, super excited for the future and everything like that.
CJ, Will was talking about how he was crying after the game when you came up to him and were like, why are you doing that? We're good. We're going to be good for a long time. Can you tell us about that moment and why you're so encouraged for the future of this team?
Yeah, I appreciated Will for doing that, because, those are raw emotions. It wasn't like he was doing that, just to be fake. He really meant, he really, was feeling that because he really wanted to win that game. We all did. And something I've learned in this league, man, is, you can't let your emotions fluctuate.
Dude, this dude's 22 years old and he's talking like this, and he's helping Will Anderson out, who's his same age, like a veteran. Every time he goes to the podium, it's just really impressive.
And I told Will, man, honestly, man, he's probably the most talented player, one of the most talented players I've ever been around in my life. I mean, we're going to be back in this moment. You can promise, I can promise you that. Like, it might not, I don't know when it's going to be, how it's going to be, who's going to be on this team, but we're going to get back. And I just want to let him know, man, I appreciated everything that he did for us that year. I just wanted to see his head up high, I just want to see him encouraged and positive.
I know you've always been a guy who has a chip on their shoulder. How much does it like when you kind of keep that Baltimore game and maybe that feeling, what you guys went through, push you kind of down the road during the offseason?
I wouldn't necessarily name myself as a guy with a chip on his shoulder. I just think I'm me, Like, I don't really try to. I used to be in the business of proving people wrong and people pleasing and stuff. Man, that stuff is exhausting and it don't make no sense. So, honestly, man, I'm really gonna be just preparing for what we got going on here. Yeah, we lost to Baltimore up there, and there's some things that we need to get fixed, of course. But it's time for that. Once we get back to those moments, but right now it's all about getting better, and just really putting our best foot forward on making yourself better as a person, as a player, and that's something that I definitely am excited to get into. For first, I'm gonna relax, man. Just take some time off. I've been going hard since I've been like 12 years old, like AAU tournaments, baseball, football, 7-on-7, high school, just a ton of just sports being played, and man, it's been a blessing, been a ball, and it's like I'm 22 years old, and this is my first time ever having freedom, from away from school, away from college, and so I'm excited, but at the same time, just like I'm ready to relax, I'm ready to get back to work too, but I know I have to take some time to myself, it's just the right thing to do. So doing that for a little bit, getting back rolling, my workouts, strength and conditioning, getting stronger, bigger, faster, getting back with my guys in LA, just working out with them on the quarterback stuff and OTAs and stuff like that.
CJ, how important and impactful have guys like Gerard Johnson and Bobby Slowick been to your development this season?
Well, listen to him talking about Gerard Johnson. By the way, Gerard Johnson interviewed for a couple OC gigs. Could be some other ones coming up as well. If he needs a reference, listen to CJ talk about Gerard freaking Johnson. By the way, friend of the show. If you missed his interview, we had him on last week. You can look at the Odyssey app and check that out.
And is there a little trepidation from you knowing that maybe one or two of both of those guys may not be back here next year?
Yeah, Gerard. I've known Gerard since I was 16. I was in the Elite 11 with him. He was my quarterback coach there. And one thing, man, I can say about Gerard, man, is when you talk about someone who knows how to play the position of quarterback and knows how to relay something, but also just a great person, man, a guy who loves football. He loves Houston. He loves Texas. He loves his family. He's a great family man. And somebody who's taught me just a tremendous amount of information. But on top of that, man, put a lot of confidence into me as well. When I was 16 at Elite 11, we did this little circle group. It was all the quarterbacks in my group. And Gerard's one thing for me was be confident, because at that time I wasn't really the highest recruit. I wasn't who I will become. You know what I'm saying? And I always knew that it would be a possibility, but I didn't hear it out those type of the Gerard I looked up to. He played at Texas A&M. I knew that and stuff like that. And when he was man, you need to be more confident. And it was just it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And from there, fast forward, I'm here with him my rookie year. It's been just a blessing to work with him, and whatever happens, man, I'm excited for him, and he deserves everything that's coming
Changed
for him.
his life.
I'm super blessed to be able to work with him and Bobby, somebody who, when I came in, man, I knew that he was gonna push me hard. He was gonna be hard on me. He held me at a standard all year, held me accountable. Because a lot of times, man, when you're playing good ball, guys they kind of let you do what you do and leave you alone. But Bobby, man, he was always on me about the little details. In my position, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciated that, because you don't always get that. And he always just was hard on me. but also showed me a lot of love, man. A ton of love, very knowledgeable, can really dice the defense up, puts a lot of trust in his players, and really just never got away from what he knows. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like tailored his coaching to like what was here at the Texans, but he did what was at the core of his heart, and I could appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And but whatever happens with those guys, they deserve whatever's coming to them, and it's been a blessing working with them. But if they come back, that'd be cool too.
Really high this year. Like again, like you're probably gonna be off in the rookie year. You set a lot of records. What are you gonna have to do to get to that next level? I know you want to be the top of the top. What do you have to do to get to that next level when you've already set the bar pretty high?
Yeah, I gotta do way more. You know, I gotta just be me. You know, at the end of the day, I look back at it like I can say a whole bunch of cool stuff up here that'll make everybody go crazy, but honestly, I just gotta be myself, you know, and just work hard at that, you know, and just really do everything that God put in my heart to do. And I'm just super thankful for God, man, and Christ for really just having a rookie year like I had, you know, and to be able to be mentioned with a whole bunch of greats and be playing against greats, you know what I'm saying? So it's been just a blessing, and really my plan is just I want to be the best. You know, I don't want to just be the best rookie, the best second-year dude. I want to be the best, point blank, period. So I'm excited to get going with that, and yeah.
Speaking of your rookie season, CJ, you've gotten a lot of praise and accolades from a lot of people around the league, a lot of analysts and things like that. But what does it mean to you for your biggest supporter in your mom? Can you say she's proud of you after this season?
Man, you talk about like just genuine love. You know, she texted me something yesterday. She was like, I don't say I love you just to say it. Like, I say it because I truly, like, you've been one of the best things ever in my life. And I was like, wow, like, for her to, like, say something like that, you know, it's like, it's just, like, my mom is amazing. She's been with me through thick and thin. We've been through a whole lot. And she's never, ever, like, questioned my goals or my plan. And she always, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm a very independent person. She always let me be independent and, like, figure it out. But at the same time, I always knew if I ever needed something, I can call my mom. And I'm just super blessed to have a mother like I do. Blessed enough to have a father like I do. My brothers, my sisters, my family back home. And I'm just really, you know what I'm saying, I just, all in all, man, I'm just super blessed to be where God wants me to be. You know what I'm saying? So I love my mom, and I know they said she got a lot of camera time, so I don't think she was super happy about that, but you can see how much she prayed about me. She loved her son, and I love her right back. She loved all her kids, man, and I love her so much.
CJ, you're the most talented player, or one of the most talented players I've been around. What is it about Will that he has?
What is it about Willie?
His mentality. Not only does it match up with his talent, but it probably upsees his talent. The tenacious will to win. You know what I'm saying? The grit that he brings to a locker room, and just his personality, you know what I'm saying? And his talent is great, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, if you can match that with what he has, man, it's a force to be reckoned with.
CJ, as you continue to, build for the future, what is it like knowing that you get an opportunity to build with Coach D'Amico Ryans, who is, going into his second year of coaching as well, because not too many franchises get an opportunity to have that quarterback head coach build up at the same time.
Yeah. I told me just like a little while ago, man, I really appreciate him for the trust, because that's one thing, like in football, that's probably the main thing that you need is trust. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate him for trusting me, and he knows that I trust him tremendously. Any decision he makes, like, I know that it's at the forefront of what's best for the team, and I'm excited to build with him, man. I think it's going to be a great dynasty. Hopefully, we build.
Dynasty.
And I'm
Threw out
excited
the
for
D
that.
word. He threw out the D word.
That this team has. Every guy in that locker room said that the future is bright because of you. You used to always say that the burden is a privilege, or the pressure is a privilege. How do you just view the fact that this whole locker room, this whole city's future, they put it all on your shoulders?
It's something. Honestly, I know that's probably what it seems like, but it's not. And I'm blessed, even if it is. But at the same time, like, I know God prepared me for stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, for this moment right here. So I'm really walking in my purpose. Like, of course, I'm doing it through my passion, which is football, but man, I'm super blessed to be able to walk through my purpose, in my passion, and with a great city, a great team like this. And I'm super signed up. I'm dotting every I, crossing every T, on every contract that I got to do to make this team great. You know what I'm saying? And I'm super blessed to be able to be with a group of guys like that. And I know, but man, my teammates, like, just like it's on me, it's on all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know that. But man, I'm at the forefront of it. And if that's so be it, then I'm with that.
Close with Aaron, DJ, Sarge. We'll get you guys.
CJ, we were just having a conversation with Tank about how he can't wait to get back out there playing football. How much would it mean to you to have the offseason you'll have with him and the second year together?
Yeah, it's huge. Tank is my brother, man. He's I don't think blood can make us any closer. Like, we're really close. And that chemistry is shown on the field, and we're gonna build that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen naturally. Like, we boys, man. You don't force stuff with your boy, you know. So, but we both are tremendously excited to keep this going and work really hard to be great, and hopefully do whatever we need to do.
It'll be interesting to see how Tank comes back and what's around him. If you can make put a receiver in there in the mix with Nico and Tank, or maybe two, and add a running back as a threat, I mean, that just opens it up even more.
To be great here, and we're excited for that.
CJ, Sarge.
Obviously, you talked to Will and said that we're going to be back at this point. What gives you and the rest of the team so much confidence that you guys will be able to get back to that point and be able to break through and be able to take the Texans where you guys really want to take them?
I think because we know what it takes. You know, it takes tremendous focus, tremendous will to win, and stuff like that. It's all the things that it's easy to talk about, but it's hard to do. And we did that this year. You know what I'm saying? And even though we fell short, we put that on display. And now it's just about bringing guys here that are with that and have that same type of mentality. And whoever stays, we keeping that standard. We ain't changing up for nobody. So I think that is why we were confident. And man, it's okay to be confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look at that as a negative thing. And it's not cockiness; it's being confident.
Away from the field, how do you feel personally that you grew as a person, throughout your rookie season?
Yeah, I think I grew tremendously, man. A ton of great people. Like, I know he's gonna be mad at me for this, but Dylan Thompson, man. Oh my gosh, Dylan is one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life.
Sorry, see, that was Dylan Thompson's a good dude. Like, good dudes can be linked to slime balls. Jack Easterby, slime ball. Dylan Thompson. This is another cosign from CJ.
Just the conversations I've had with him, and a lot of people like Camille, who's in player development, Morgan, you know what I'm saying, Amy, the nutrition, Lad, like Mike Eubanks, like there's a ton of people, great people in this organization, but DT has been the main person, man. Just you talk about like a brother, like just somebody who like loves you no matter what happens on that field. Like, you can feel that, you know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate. I know you're gonna be mad at me, Brett. Man, he's a great person, and really one of the reasons why I feel like we were very successful this year.
CJ, you and Will have been attached to the hip since April when you guys got selected together. When you look back at his season and what he was able to accomplish, becoming one of the all-time leaders for rookies in sacks, if you were to make a pitch for the award season, what would be your reason he should win?
Making a pitch. Right now. He's being asked to make a pitch for Will Anderson for rookie defensive player of the year. Okay. Okay.
Honestly, like, yeah, I would say, I know Will not even tripping off that. And honestly, I'm not either. Like, that's for other people to figure out. But he deserves it, you know. And I would say that just because you look at how it looked in the previous years here, and you can see what the difference made of him being on the field. You can see that on how people interact with him. You can see that on how he talks to people in the media and like look people in the eye. You know what I'm saying? Like all that type of stuff, man. Like it's been a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I wasn't here for those years, but like from the guys who've been here, they can tell us like, man, you two, like, y'all special. So I can say that about Will. And of course, on the field stuff, just cut the tape on. You know, and even times like I said this, even when we played him my freshman year in college, and he might not always make the play, but he's one of the reasons why. Like, he's going to set the edge. He's going to take on the double team. He's going to make somebody miss to set somebody else up free. So it's not only just like it's not always in the stats. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really affecting the game in a lot of ways by just being a great player.
I do anticipate Will Anderson taking a significant, and he's already a really good player, but a significant step in year 2.
Hey, CJ, what has it been like for you to be able, you talk about just, being you and being what your purpose is and this being a platform for you to do it, to be in a place where you can exhibit all that, be exactly who you are, and for that to be embraced. Talk about what that means.
It's amazing. It's a blessing. One of my best friends back home, his name is Barron, and he always talks about your passion is greedy, but your purpose is for others. And that's something that he hit me with that like my junior year in college. And since that moment, I'm like, man, like that's how I want to live my life. I want to be at service, you know what I mean? And I've gotten a lot of great people who have reached out, and even guys after games, like who are who just talk about like how I mentioned God and Christ and things like that. And I always tell people it's not me, you know what I'm saying? It's Him. Like it's nothing I can do to ever repay what the Lord has done in my life, and I don't want to. I just want to act in what He's called me to do, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know the God that I serve is a forgiving and graceful God, and I can just appreciate that. And even like Coach Harbaugh, even saying that after they beat us, like you can just see like there's a lot of us out here too that love the Lord, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I appreciate everybody who reaches out, and I'm not doing it to look cool or whatever. I'm doing it because that's what God called me to do.
NBC's upset, man.
After a season like this, coming to a close, seeing teammates before the last time for a bit, it'd be easy to be down, be disappointed, but I'm watching right now, you seem like in good spirits.
Yeah.
It's kind of a basic question, but why? Like, where does that energy, where's that coming from?
Yeah, I mean, of course I have my day to soak and be like, dang, man. Like, at the same time, like as you soak and you look back, like it's a lot of things to be grateful for and be happy about. So I'm trying to just be as joyful as I can. And of course, I wish we were playing this week and I could get another game with my brothers, but it's not the reality. And it's nothing positive comes out of just soaking and being in a fog. So I mean, I wanted to come in today and just for guys to see me like upbeat. I think that that has a lot of weight to it. Just guys being happy about life. It's a lot more to life than this game. It's a blessing. It's amazing. It's just changed my life. At the same time, I'm a person too. I'm a regular human, just like everybody else, and I just play football on TV sometimes. So, but it's a blessing though. So yeah. All right, you guys. God bless.
All right, there you go. That's CJ Stroud in a good headspace. The next challenge is ahead. Resting up is a good idea for him. There's going to be a lot of people that want some stuff from him. There's going to be it's going to be expected for him to ball now. Not going to catch anyone by surprise. Obviously, expectations for the Texans have increased. Hopefully, the talent around him increases, and hopefully the game kind of slows down for him. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with CJ Stroud. But now that the dust is settled, the game is over. We know who's playing in the Final Four, and we know it's not going to be the Texans. You got to be excited about what's up with CJ Stroud. Again, to answer the question that we had coming into here before we wrap this thing up and talk about some news going on with the Texans. What do the Texans need to do for CJ Stroud? They need to get him some weapons. That's it. They need to get him some weapons and continue to grow as a squad. Will Anderson taking that next step indirectly helps CJ Stroud. Same thing for Christian Harris. Same thing for Derek Stingley. But get him some offensive weapons and have a good offseason. I mean, we saw it with the Lions this year that they added firepower on offense and it allowed them to take the next step. And I think most people would rather have CJ Stroud than Jared Goff. So we'll see how it goes. Other news that impacts the Texans: the Titans have hired Brian Callahan as their head coach, the OC with the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, I don't know whether this is a good hire. I don't know whether this is a bad hire. I do know this. his success, if it depends on Will Levis, from a Texans point of view, I'll take my chances, and we'll see how that goes. But look, there were some decent things from Will Levis, but I don't, I think that's kind of, I wouldn't, if I were getting my first head coaching job, me personally, and hell, God knows I've been wrong about quarterbacks before. I would not want my success tied to Will Levis. That's just me. As a result of that, Bobby Slowick obviously not going to get the Tennessee gig. He's still a candidate at 4 spots. So we'll see what happens with Slowick. It does feel like it's kind of dying down a little bit, and it's going to shape up. And we could see Bobby Slowick kind of get shut out this year and be right back with the Texans, which could mean that Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach, could be an offensive coordinator. I know there's a lot of interest. 2 teams have officially been detailed. I think there's probably going to be some other teams as well. The Saints, they interviewed him. I wouldn't want to tie my first offensive coordinating gig to Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. And then there's the Cleveland thing. Does he think he can turn around Deshaun Watson? Deshaun's known him for a while. Do you really want to coach a guy who kind of has a helicopter dad too right there? I know he's said some good things about you. Do you want that? I don't know. But Gerard's going to have a lot of opportunity as well. You heard CJ say that he changed his life. So I don't know if NFL coaches need references, but if Gerard does need one, the offensive rookie of the year seems to be on board. What do the Texans need to do with CJ Stroud? We'll hear from Will Anderson and D'Amico Ryans this week. The fun doesn't stop just because the offseason's here. It is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. When it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Subscribe, like, ride along. Thanks for coming through.
On YouTube, you know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked.